Hello everybody. In this video I'm going to talk about how to detect the tightening of Bollinger bands or contracting of Bollinger bands over time using the custom filter tab. I recently added a new capability to detect percentage distances of numeric fields, and that becomes very helpful in this type of scenario. So let's start by going to the custom tab, and you can reorder these tabs if you have the custom tab at the very end still. And you can simply grab it and drag it to the position number 2 and let it go, and that way you've got it up towards the front and you can get to it quicker. So click the filter assistant button, which is the screen button with the plus on it, and the first thing that we want to do, since we're going to work with Bollinger bands quite a bit here, is go to the indicators and select which kind of Bollinger band you want to work with, either based on simple moving average or exponential moving average. I'm just going to use simple on this example. And I'm going to look at the lower and the upper bounds of the Bollinger band. So I'm going to right click and choose add to my favorites because I'm going to be using it a lot, and I'm just going to call it BB lower 20 days, and I'll call it SMA so it's obvious that it's based on the SMA. And then I'll repeat that for the upper, and I'm just going to overwrite that with what I copied from the last one. Click save. And now I can go down to my favorites and I've got them down here. So let's say that we're looking for a contraction in the Bollinger bands on the 20-day SMA. So what I want to do is, you've got a historical ability to look at the Bollinger band over time. So you can look at how the Bollinger band looked yesterday and the day before just by putting the number of days back underneath the tree below here. So let's say that we want to take today's Bollinger band, the upper Bollinger band, and let's say that it is less than the upper Bollinger band from yesterday. And then we hit save, and we'll notice that that added a custom row here saying that the upper Bollinger band SMA is less than the upper Bollinger band from 1 day ago. We'll go ahead and repeat that process. Let's say we want to do it for several days in a row. Let's just do it for 2 days in this example. So I'll take the upper Bollinger band and put 1 day ago as the left side, and it's less than the upper Bollinger band from 2 days ago. Hit save. So that's a tightening. You're seeing that the Bollinger band is contracting over a 2-day period there. And I'm going to drag the top of the screen down a little bit so we can see more of these custom filters that we're creating here. And let's also see the lower Bollinger band contracting. So let's kind of repeat the same process but in reverse. Let's go down to my favorites, choose the lower Bollinger band, and it's going to be greater than yesterday's lower Bollinger band. So we put 1 day for yesterday's lower Bollinger band, and then we'll repeat that for the day before that. So I'm just kind of dragging this down so you can see the rules we created already. Say Bollinger band, the lower from yesterday, is greater than the lower Bollinger band from 2 days ago. So this is saying that the Bollinger band is getting narrower over the last 2 days. And now in the mix you can actually add closing price or a distance. So let's say that we want to say that today's Bollinger band, or whatever date we're actually going to run this filter on, let's say that the lower Bollinger band is within 5%. So we put 5% down below the left tree, and say less than, meaning it's within 5% of the upper Bollinger band for today, because I didn't put a number of days ago. And so that's looking for a squeeze on the Bollinger band based on the SMAs. So what we've basically defined here is saying that the Bollinger band has contracted over a 2-day period, and now it is within 5% of each other. So this is a really great screen if you're looking for Bollinger band squeezes, and it's more advanced than if you had gone to the Bollinger band tab, because what that does is it only looks at today's value. So this allows you to trend it over several days if you are looking for a stock setup that sets up over several day period. So it's more advantageous to go ahead and do it this way and use these more advanced custom filter criteria to kind of narrow that down to, I mean, we're looking at 18 stocks out of almost 7,000 stocks now. And if I had a chart set up for it, you can go into free stock charts. Let me just choose free stock charts from my list here, or stockcharts.com, the daily. And let's throw a Bollinger band on there as one of the items on there. So it's a 20-day SMA, I believe they use SMA, and a two standard deviations away from the current price. So I hit update to throw that on the screen, and you'll see that it is narrowed over the last 2-day period, and you'll notice that it's narrowing. So, and it should be within, like what we said within 5% of each other. So if we put this in Excel or whatever and compare this price, that should show that that Bollinger Band is within 5% of each other. You could even tighten that some more, and actually let me update my web page definition for the Stock Charts Daily to have the Bollinger Band on that from now on. So if I click this linkable version and I grab this web page address above it and I right click and say edit on this my web page, I can replace what's in there right now and hit save. So now when I click on these, you'll see Bollinger Band on these different charts when it redraws it. So there's Bollinger Band on all of these. And let's just tighten that up, and let's say not 5% from each other today, let's say 2% to look for really the real narrowing. And it looks like Stock Charts doesn't have RURL on their site. Let's just, I guess, widen it out to like 3%. Find something they actually have. There we go. So as you can tell, it's tightened up the band a little bit more, and you can go ahead and run that screen, and I think it's a real good idea. I mean, it's something that it's definitely more flexible than a lot of other packages you'll see out there on the market. You can trend this over as many days as you want. Up to 3 years worth of historical information is in there. And another thing that many people don't know is if you go back into the Filter Assistant, it's got all 4 components of a candlestick. It's got the high, the low, the open, and the close over the last 3 years. So you can actually look for a squeeze in the highs and the lows of a price action. So if you wanted to look at the highs getting lower and the lows getting higher and kind of squeezing, you could actually use the number of days ago below here to go back 1 day, 2 day, all the way up to 3 years. I mean, I know that's outrageous. You wouldn't want to go 3 years, but for the last week or the last 10 days, whatever you want to do. So it's very flexible, and I'd recommend you incorporate this into your trading methodology. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email address is questions@eyeintheskyscreener.com. Thank you very much.